You're in beautiful form. What a really amazing song that reflects such a strange and unusual observation. I mean, who actually is forced to acknowledge their life 10 years after they last did it through that kind of filter? What a crazy story.
Yeah, there was no other reason for me to go on my phone other than to like I'd been ordered to by the courts. So yeah, it was weird. It was weird, and it was all happening around the same sort of time as, you know, obviously like Jamal passing away,
Yeah.
etc., etc. So yeah, it was weird, but it was like what was weirder was reading the first conversations with people, you know, I've been friends with for like 15 years, but like the first text that Harry sent to me just after they'd finished X Factor, they hadn't, you know, just formed the band, and
Yeah.
you know, then we met up in Fulham, and just like memories like that coming back to me is really yeah, strange.
How long did it take for the text to catch up? Had you disconnected your ability to actually receive messages? And if not, how many messages did you have unread on your phone?
Do you know what? Yeah, I did. I like cancelled the email that the iMessage was like set up to and stuff. But there was an old email that I hadn't done that too. So there was about 21,000 emails, I think.
Wow.
But that was like, you know, I don't know,
Delete.
newsletters,
Yeah.
newsletters from this or this or this, and yeah, there was like the odd email. I scrolled down them for like a quick second, but it was, you know, kind of pointless looking at them because, yeah.
For those people that don't know, Ed hasn't used a phone in what most would consider a conventional way for, you know, 10 years. And
I'm currently on a phone though, so I still do use a phone. It's just not my phone, you know. But like,
and
it's
and therein lies the punchline, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for blowing the joke. No, I'm joking. I hadn't even gotten onto that stupid irony of all of this. But still, when you turn the phone on, can you do your best to try to describe what was going on in your stomach, or how it made you feel knowing you were turning this thing on?
Well, I didn't really think anything of it. It was quite a like the initial switching it on felt very purposeful. I had to do it for the court case and blah blah blah. But as soon as I did it, like curiosity got the best of me, and then suddenly I was like, I knew I shouldn't really be reading those old conversations because I knew that it was from like a time past. But yeah, curiosity got the best of me, and then I just scrolled for hours and hours and hours. And I don't know, I'm kind of happy that I've still got the messages, but also sort of like it just made me feel sad in lots of ways and nostalgic, and also like, you know, there's a lot of things in there. Like I'm glad I got rid of my phone because I've realized how many people I was in touch with and how that probably isn't a good thing. But yeah.
You got a beautiful song out of it. Did you know pretty much straight away when you felt that kind of strange combination of sadness and curiosity that there was a song in there? Are you tuned enough now to go, yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely a song in there, but I kept kicking it down the roads. Like because the record I was making was so like, I was in India for a lot of the time making this sort of like Technicolor record. And I was like, this sounds so like Americana that this just won't fit on this record. So I'll just do it eventually. And I was in India, very jet lagged, with nothing else to do. Like everyone was asleep. It's like 2:00 in the morning. And I was like, well, I might as well write this song now. And then I recorded it in the morning. And I think the reactions from everyone in the studio hearing it, because it like no one really knew it existed. And then I just went in and played it. And I think the reaction made me sort of realize how special it was rather than anything else. I find when I solo write a lot, I second guess it more. I think I'm very critical of songs when I solo write, just because I'm the only person I'm bouncing it off. Like I remember being like super critical of Perfect when I wrote it, or the 18 when I wrote it, or like you kind of like you have to play those songs to people for people to be like they're good. And I think that's why collaboration in a studio you can do more interesting things because you can suck a bit more and have people encourage the sucking sometimes. You know?
It's true.
Sometimes I'm just writing a tune, and if I'm like, this sucks, I just won't.
But that's probably why you're being hard on yourself, because if you look at the lyrics, it's almost, they fell out of you, dude. I mean, I found my old phone today in a box that I had hidden away. It's like, They say a great song can be summed up in sort of one or two lines, right? And the rest of it is about kind of elaborating and putting color on the canvas. But ultimately, your outline should be very straightforward and simple. And I really feel like you nailed it in those first two lines. It's like, I'm in. Like if you're setting this, you're setting this scene. I found my old phone today. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. In a box I had hidden away. I'm like, why was it like I'm in?
It's an easy sell, It's a need like when you I found this when Richard Curtis pitched me the Yesterday movie.
Yeah.
He was like, imagine the Beatles never existed, and then there's one guy that remembers all the songs, and I was like,
so good.
Oh, so yeah, what one line pictures are good.
Yeah, they are. How was India?
Great, yeah, really fun. I mean, I went back a few times. The last time I was there, I went on like a little pilgrimage with my dad to find Arijit Singh and get him to put in the final puzzle piece of the album. But it was really fun. I mean, the music out there, I find that everywhere I've been to make music, whether they speak English or not, once you start playing music and creating music with people, that musicians just have this like invisible language. And I had a lot of fun learning tabla and sitar and, just having great musicians around me. I found it, I've said this before in interviews, but I found it really similar to Irish trad music, like just the rhythms and like even the instruments. Like we used a bouzouki on most of the tunes on the album, but it just wasn't played in the same way that it would be in a trad session. It was cool. But then also like introducing trad music to Arijit Singh and like blowing his mind. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because I just came back from Tokyo and we listened to a lot of J-pop and a lot of really interesting music. We had some great tastemaker friends out there who were guiding us through it all. And you know what it's like out there, man. I mean, you can't be a successful J-pop artist unless you're like, it's just like 1,000 ideas hitting you in 3 minutes, right? It's full anime, just go time steroid. And at the end, I was like, well, I can't wait for you to come out to LA. So I can just be like, check this band out. Boom, boom, dun, 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 dun. Just like...
But that's the thing. I do think, every corner and pocket of the world has its own thing that's going on and happening. And it's just as exciting for a J-pop artist to go to LA and see that than it is for a LA artist to go to Tokyo and see that. And I think, music's just exciting, man. There's so much cool stuff happening.
So much cool stuff happening, man.
Around the world. Yeah.
I'm as inspired as I've ever been. Maybe we can talk about this in more detail later, but a nice placeholder just before I let you go. There's some things jumping out at me at this point, The album being called Play. I love that term. Spent a really good amount of time with Brian Eno recently talking about the concept of play and how we should actually take play pretty seriously and not dismiss it. The idea that you went out to India and immersed yourself in a whole new language. To me, it feels, I don't know whether it was conscious or subconscious, like you were searching for a place of no judgment. It's like, hey, I just came out of a really tough time. I got really questioned. I got dragged through the mud on this and came out clean, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to carry that experience with me. Like, was there a part of you that just wanted to just get away and get back to a place where there was some innocence to this?
I think so. Yeah, but I think underneath it all, Play was like just trying to have fun with music again. Like just even doing Subtracts, like even, the interview that we did or the gigs that I was doing, like, that was all like really heavy. And the making of the record was really heavy. And I feel like, I'm quite a fun, smiley guy. And I just wanted to get in the studio and make fun, smiley music again. I know the old phone isn't that. That's why I'm saying it didn't really fit in the general vibe of it. But I think I wanted to travel. I wanted to like fall in love with making pop music again. I'm 34, got 2 kids. Like there is a shelf life for me as a pop star. And this is probably and maybe 1 or 2 more records is probably all I'm going to get. There's a point where you have to like transition and do something else, and I think I've still got it in me.
Yeah.
And I love making it, but I see this as like just me having a couple of last hurrahs of making really fun pop music.
I love that. No, I get that. I understand your point of view, and I think it's a very healthy mindset to be in for anyone to ultimately treat something like there's an end. There's nothing wrong with that. It also allows you to come to a new beginning. But I don't know, I'm just obsessed with the moment right now. I love this song, man. I think it's it's so good to hear you back in this place where you're able to just so beautifully sum up how you feel. Very few
Thank you.
people in my life can do it in such a wonderful, succinct way without sacrificing emotion. That's my little kind of 2-cent review. And there's a lot to kind of dive in that I'd like to talk to you about in relation to what music means to you right now, because I love talking about music with you. Coachella, did you feel like a pop star on stage in Coachella? Because it looked like you did.
I mean, the whole point of Coachella was I didn't really want to, I wanted to do something different. So I was like, can I just go and play secretively? And then like a week before they put the lineup on, it's like not like Glastonbury where you can actually just turn up secretively. They have to like put it in. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool, man. It's cool. There was a distinct lack of like people with like traffic cones on their head. Like a real UK festival when people are like covered in mud. But yeah, I mean, it's like it is what it is. I actually really enjoyed it as a festival. But yeah, I feel like I would love some like Coachella goers to go to like Transmit, and see what's happening up north.